Guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. This one is a little bit of a different video. This is covering a part. Now, I wanted to cover this in a separate video because this is by far, I think, one of the best things that is on the market for 79 or 70 series in general. And they are track corrected hub spacers, or track corrected hubs. Not spacers. These are not spacers, these are hubs. They replace the factory hub and bring out your narrow offset on the rear half of your 70 series, almost factory with the front. You've got about a 7.5 mil of difference in the rear. So they're still narrow by like 7 mil. You're not gonna notice it, but these can be engineered. So these are legal, unlike spacers. So let's get stuck into it. I'll show you what they look like. All right, first of all, we are going to need to take the wheel off. So before we do that, we'll loosen it off, jack it up, and put it under some jack stands.
Let's go! Let's go!
Now we have the wheel off, we're going to talk about the hubs and the difference between these ones I have got that track correct my track width and the factory ones. Right here, as you can see, this is, I've already done one side. This is a factory hub for the rear of it. Now you can see how thin this is and whatnot. So we'll move on to these ones. So these are from Bud's Customs. Now they do make these track corrected hubs for a very affordable price, in my opinion, compared to some others out there. Now these are fully made out of billet. So these are all CNC machined, all billet made, and they're all one piece. Now already you can tell the difference in them. This is bloody heavy. So if you see me struggling, it's not light. But basically, you take off the old hub. This rotor will bolt on to the back of these 5 bolts here. You get some very big, I believe the M18 Allen key bolts, which are these. You get 5 of these, and then you bolt them into the back of here. So your rotor will go in between that, and then you bolt them up, torque them to spec, put some Loctite on them, and then you put these back onto the axle or the diff. I want to talk about the reliability and the strength between this and, let's just say, a bolt-on spacer. A bolt-on spacer bolts on to these studs here. Now, it's all well and good until the studs of the spacer snap. So it comes down to torque and everything. They're just not really that reliable. Whereas something like this replaces the whole hub. Then the axle bolts into this new corrected hub and then goes straight back into the diff. So you reuse your old factory axles, replaces your factory hub. This isn't a spacer, this is a full hub replacement, and you get your track corrected. And these are all engineerable, so you can get them engineered. They are legal, which is why I've gone with these. This is also a budget build car. Believe it or not, this is a budget build car, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I went with these. Now, these are $18.50 from Bud's Customs. This is the cheapest and safest option to get your track width corrected, unless you want to do a 80 series or a 105 coil conversion. That's when you will get the same track width as the front as it would the rear. So I went with these because I plan on sticking with this rear for a little while, and I wanted to test these out for the price they were compared to a track corrected diff. Couldn't really say no, and I wanted to get the car engineered anyway, so this was the best option for me. That's why I went with them. Yeah, there's no other really reason why I went with them. So the fact that they're reliable, they can be engineered, they correct the track width, it was just a no-brainer to go get these over some Superior or any bolt-on in that fact, to bolt onto here and then possibly lose a wheel down the track and then not have it engineered. So let's get stuck into it. I'll show you how we install it. You do, with the kit as well, you do get obviously this full billet piece, and then you get front and rear fresh wheel bearings, a gasket for the hub itself, and then obviously you get 5 of these to bolt the rotor onto the back. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's take this one off, take the rotor off, take the hub out, and we will fit everything to this one, put some fresh bearings in it, grease them up. Alright, now we've unbolted everything, got the caliper off. Now we have our soft hammer. We'll just tap the back of it, rotate it a bit. Got it off. So we got the rotor off with a bit of persuasion. We've actually still got this seal on here. I'll have to get out somehow. Oh, there we go. Top straight off, easy as that. Now I'm going to keep these bearings as spare bearings because there's nothing actually wrong with them. So we'll keep them as spare bearings in case they collapse in the new hubs. But other than that, we'll put some new ones in. We have the rotor off now. We need to fit those sleeves in the new housing. While we're doing that, actually, we need to get this. We need to get the tone ring off. So this is my ABS ring. Now, the way I got it off last time was a chisel and a hammer. I'll do the same thing again. You guys can watch. Now you can see exactly what I'm doing. We'll get the chisel here, hit it with a hammer, and we'll try and get it loose. So as you can see, it's already starting to separate. I usually use some WD-40 just to get it in there after it's cracked, just to loosen the rest off, and then we'll just go around the outside and tap it off. There we have it. Got the tone ring off. We'll go give it a degrease, clean it all up, air compress it, dry it all out, and yeah, pop it on the new one right here. I have tapped in the bearings, well, the housings for them. I don't know if you can see it, but they're all in now. So our next step will be to pack the bearings with some grease, put them in, put the seal on the back in, bolt the rotor to it, put the tone ring back on. So let's get into that. Probably the messiest job out of everything doing this. But at least we know this rear will be good for 400 kilowatts on 35s pushing from that barrow. Apart from the diff, actually, I need to get a new diff, get this one rebuilt, put solid bases in it, get the crown gear coated. I think you guys will know what I'm talking about, but I believe you can get the big gear coated in something to strengthen it. So we are sticking with the 3.9 diffs. As I've experienced, I think they're the strongest diffs from the 70 series, and I've already got them. So we're going to stick with them. We'll get a new diff put in, and then we'll put her on a dyno and see what she does. But enough talking about the diff. Let's put these bearings in, pack them. So if you guys haven't packed bearings before, there's heaps of videos on YouTube about it, but pretty much grab some, put it in the palm of your hand, grab the bearing, and then you want to basically press it in both sides around the bearing. There we go. In and dusted. Now my hands are full of grease. Good thing we have a whole bag of rags. Just pack that bearing, grab your seal. Now I don't know if I should put grease. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on it just to get it in there. Probably have you guys in the comments hating on me saying I shouldn't have done that, but it's a bloody wheel bearing grease in here. So we'll put that on, tap it on with a hammer very gently. There we go. Seal is on, bearing is in. Alright, cool. So now that we've gotten the bearing in, the seal on, we are going to bolt this there. So we put this rotor back on, and then as I mentioned earlier in this video, you will get given 5 of these bolts. Now I'm going to use some Loctite. I smear it on with Loctite. You know, if worst case scenario and I'm going to get it off, let's get a blowtorch. You need to torque these down to 80, 100, 120 Newton meters. I'm going to use this for temporary. Grab some Loctite. I like to put about that much on my bolt and then put it in. And then I like to grab the Allen key. I like to tighten it with my hand, then I move on to the next one. I do it in star shape. You probably don't have to do it in star shape, but I will just make it even. Might be a lot of Loctite, but to be honest, I don't want it coming off. So, a lot of Loctite it is. If worst case scenario is I need to replace the rotors, we'll get a blowtorch out and we'll burn the Loctite off. Okay. So we'll go tighten these now, and then once we tighten them, we're going to pack the rest of the inside of that with grease, and then put the other bearing back in, pop it on, tighten it all up and whatnot, and then that would be the it for this hub corrector. I've ended up talking them down to spec. Didn't really film it, I kind of forgot to. It was very difficult, so I had to wedge it up against something and, you know, get the right amount of torque on it to be able to get them on. But they're all torque to spec. Now, we flipped them over. I forgot to mention this before, but you will have this little cutout here on your billet hub. Now this is just so you can access your handbrake adjuster, so you can get your adjuster in there, adjust it to whatever you need, vice versa. So that's, make sure you line that up before you put the rotor back on. Just finished packing it with grease. Now we're gonna clean the outside of this rotor, make it all nice and clean. I'm gonna put some grease on the diff. I hate grease. So we've put the new hub on, we've greased up the bearings, we've put the sleeves for the bearings in there, we've put the seal on the bearing in the back of the hub, we've bolted the rotor back on. Now it's time to put it back on the diff. So let's do that. Be very careful when you do it, because you don't want to pinch the seal. Oh, you're joking. I just dropped that bearing on me. Do you know what I forgot? Good reason I didn't put that on. Got to put the tone ring back on. That was a sign that I missed something. So let's flip this back over gently. And let's put this tone ring back on right now, which is this little guy here. This is my ABS tone ring. Now, I've just been off camera waiting for the tone ring to be heated up and expanded in the oven. So we have finally got it on here now, as you could see. So we're gonna hopefully try and get this on now, and then we put the bearing in, and then the hub back on and the axle back in. I have a feeling it's not going on because it's got something to do with this. And I was right, it had something to do with that. And now it's all done. Grab this bearing we packed earlier, pop it in. Alright, now we'll get this locating pin, pop it in. Grab this guy, put this back on, throw that back in. I'll tap this with a random hammer. Alright, now we've got that on, wipe it up a bit here. Now it's time to put the axle back in. So we'll give this a bit of a clean around where it's going to go. So you get new gaskets, pop them on here. Alright, so we've got our gasket on now, so we're going to move on to putting the axle back in. Now, I do need to pull these out again at some point because we need to replace the diff, but for now this will do. And boom. Look at that, we're back on. Beautiful. Alright, let's put this crown back in. Alright, so we're going to put the little bolts back on the hubs now. So we've got the little cone pieces in. You reuse your cone pieces and washers and nuts for it. So if you need new ones, maybe go get some new ones before putting these on. And just like that, you have track corrected hubs. They're engineered, or you can get them engineered. So if this video was helpful, or if you've been thinking about getting these Bud custom track corrected hubs and this video helped you, leave a like, subscribe, comment if there's anything that confused you throughout the video, and I will try and reply best I can. But see you in the next one.